It is the second day of witness testimony in the federal sex trafficking trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
A warning to our viewers, this next story does discuss sexual assault and violence. Today, the prosecution's star witness, Cassie Ventura, took the stand. She's a music star and the ex-girlfriend of Mr. Combs. Combs is charged with sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He has pleaded not guilty.
NBC News correspondent Rehema Ellis is outside that courthouse in New York City. So, Rehema, what is Cassie Ventura saying in today's testimony?
She is testifying to what is very graphic, detailed sexual encounters she had with escorts who were hired by Sean Combs to perform sex while he watched and directed what was going on. She talked about how she had knew nothing about freak-offs until she was introduced to it by Sean Combs. And she was asked, did you want to engage in the freak-offs by the prosecution? And her answer was, we have a full screen of it. She says, no, I felt pretty horrible about myself. I felt disgusting. I felt humiliated. I didn't have the words to show how horrible I felt. I couldn't talk to anybody about it. His eyes would go black. The version of I knew of him was no longer there. At moments, she wipes a tear from her eyes. She moves very uncomfortably in her chair. She is 8 months pregnant with her third child, and she talked about how she felt frightened at many times, that he controlled her life, her career, her life, her sex life, everything about her, she said, was controlled. Kate and Clay.
And Rehema, who else have jurors heard from so far in the trial?
They've also heard at the beginning of today and the trial that started yesterday, they also heard from a former escort who was hired again, and he talked about in graphic detail the kind of these sexual parties that they had that Sean Combs was directing and that he was watching. And it's important to point out, as lawyers are saying, that this part of this testimony with Cassie is also very slow and methodical, as the prosecution appears to be trying to build a case that she was surrounded by people who were bodyguards, escorts, who were all a part of the Sean Combs entourage. And they're attempting, it seems, to build a different narrative from what the defense said in their opening arguments. They said these alleged victims were all capable, strong adult women, and suggesting that they had the will to stay or go. But the prosecution is painting a different picture.
All right, Rehema Ellis.
Kate and Clay.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.